I'll tell you what we're going to cover. We want to get quick Canva overview, what it is, what it can do, some basics of creating a Canva. So I'm trying to take this to the new user. Okay, I really want to start you off. So tools are great, but if you can't use them or you don't use them, they're no use, right? It doesn't matter if you got a whole garage full of tools. If you don't know how to use them, they don't mean anything to you. So it's all about having tools that you like and you know how to use. And then we'll give some practical business uses of it, even personal uses of it that you can get along there. Okay, so at the highest level, Canva is this free graphic creation tool. It's free. There is a paid version also, which gives you even more stuff. Who is that? All right, Clark, keep an eye on AA for us here. I'm not sure what that was. Okay. So free graphics creation tool, meaning what can you do with it, right? You can create graphic images. You can create all types of different elements you need. Sometimes in business or personal, you get to the place where you're like, hey, I need to create something, and either you know how to do it or you don't. You got to. I came back from the dead. All right, let's get rid of this guy. Gone. We gotta. All right. I haven't had a Zoom bomber in a while. I got a little Zoom action today on a Zoom bomber. All right, took care of it myself. All right. So graphic creation tools. So what are some other things? Like I also use Adobe products, like I use Photoshop and Illustrator and those kind of things. And I pay for those. But I got to tell you, sometimes it's just easier to jump into Canva and do something quick and get it done. Yeah, it's that easy. They've taken something that used to be really complicated and challenging of doing graphical type things and made it very easy. So that's kind of what it is. Okay. The other thing that's nice about it is you can just do it in your browser. You can just use your web browser. It's usually graphic design software is really heavy and requires a lot of software. And you can just do this in your browser. It's really lightweight. You can do that. You can also do it on your phone. There's a phone version you can use it. And those apps are free. And then there's a desktop version. They just announced this new desktop version that you can download and put on your computer, which is kind of neat. But you can just do it all through the web, which is really nice. As I said, there's a paid version. The paid version gives you some more free content that you can use. The free version comes with some free content that you can, when I think of content like elements of, clip art and images and backgrounds and fonts, things like that. The paid version gives you access to even more of that, unlimited use of it. So you're not having to go find, if you want a picture of a dog or something, you don't have to go looking too far for that. They've got it in their library. You can pull it in and use it. So that makes creating creative content much quicker and faster because it's all there in one place. Plus, it's quick and simple to use. The problem with a lot of software is as it gets more robust, as it gets to the place where it does more and more things, as users want it to do more, it gets more confusing. It gets more what I call bloated. It's just like, oh my gosh, there's so many options. Oh, what do I do with all this? This is just overwhelming. And one of the things that I liked about Canva is it kept it pretty simple. Now, they do, they'll say they can create presentations, you can create social media, you can create printed content, you can design t-shirts, you can design logos, you can, so they've kind of expanded into doing, whatever you want it to do. And they got to be careful that it doesn't get too confusing again for people, right? Like, well, it's too many choices. I don't know what to do. I'm overwhelmed. It becomes this injured foot that Lena's talking about that you drag around and it's not helpful to you, right? Okay, so that's what Canva is. So it's this great little tool for your toolbox to help you quickly create images, any or personal. Okay, Leslie put in there. Let's see. One of the things I love about Canva Pro is that their commercial licensing terms are so simple to understand. I literally do not need anything else to make my digital downloads and personal. But yeah, so everything you're using is legal. You're not stealing anybody's stuff. When you have the Pro version, everything is legal, so you can use it freely and sell it and do whatever you want with it. So that's a good point. All right. Any questions, comments on the overview part of it? Okay. Good. Leslie, anything else I left out on that?
Nope, that's good, Kevin.
That's a good start. Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right. Then when you get into, so how do you get to it? You can go to canva.com. That's how you spell it, canva.com. You could, I use it mostly on my computer, my desktop computer through a browser. And like I said, just last week, they came out with, I was in it and they said, hey, we've got you can download the program and run it on your computer. So I'm doing that now too. But I also have it on my phone. I don't use it on my phone a lot. You could put it on your tablets and iPads as well. You could put it in your Androids through the Google Play Store if you wanted to do that, and use it for free. If you have an account, then you just log in, and it shows up. All your content can be visible both on your phone, your tablets, and your computer all at the same time. That's kind of a nice thing too. You don't have to be worried about where it is. It's not like you saved it on your computer and then you're out somewhere like, I need that. How do I get it? To Canva, you could get it. You could download it again from wherever you are, which is nice. All right. Let's get into, let me pull up a screen here and show you what that looks like. And then so I've got my, my pro version that I'm pulling up here. I'm going to show you that view. That's what I want to do. Let's do it like this. Okay, you can see my page here. So it starts out, typically what I'm jumping up to is this create a design up in the top right. Well, like, okay, I know I want to make something. Okay. And I go up there and I typically do that. Now they've got all these templates. They've got all kinds of, all my recent, all of the stuff I've been working on down below. But you can, lots of different ways, right? You can click on, let's say you want to do social media, and click on that. They've got lots of popular templates that you can use. And the nice thing about that is that they're already set up for the right size. So that saves you some time. Video, we're not going to get into video, but it does video. Print production, if you're doing stuff that goes on business cards, notebooks, stuff you're going to print, even on clothing, you can do that. Marketing gets into flyers, logos, business cards, labels, ads, those type of things. Okay. So they've got lots and lots in there. Or you can just come in and search for something. Like I'm looking for a Father's Day card. I want to make a Father's Day card. So I search that and it pulls up all these samples. So you don't have to be very creative. You can type what you want and you can go take one of these things. Let's say I like, I don't know, let's see one that's kind of fun. All right, let's just do this one. I click on this and it opens up, right? Now you say, well, I don't want it to say that. I want it to say something different. So now you can come in and you can change the text. You can even change the fonts. Like, I don't like that font. I want a different font. Let's go with this font, right? You can change it up. You can add more to it. Okay. All right. So that's how that, the other thing, like I said, a lot of times I go in and I start with create a design at the top and I create a design and now it says, okay, it wants to suggest something. And I'm typically going right to custom size because I know what I want to do. And I go from there. All right. So this is what it looks like. It has all my projects in the pro version. I've got projects and folders and I can organize everything. All of this is saved in the cloud. You can share things with other people. You can create teams if you have a paid version. Otherwise, it's just your account. So that's what that looks like. Let me see. You can import images. You can bring in your own graphics. You can use their graphics. It's really, really easy that way. All right, now I want to go back to my slides and I want to give you kind of a quick overview of how you create some of this stuff. So back over here, when I think about creating something, this is where people get lost. Like, okay, I get it, Kevin, it's a graphic program. But when you think about the basics of creating anything graphical, all right, you know me, I like to take complex things and make them simple. So this is making it super simple. You got to think about these 4 Ds. They call them the 4 Ds. All right, what are the dimensions? What's the size of the item you want to make? Like, well, where are you going to put it, right? That's the big thing. Like, where does this go? Is this something that's going to be on the screen or is this going to be something that's going to be printed out? Are you going to make a banner? It doesn't have to be a really big thing, so it needs to be a really big banner. So when you think of dimensions, these typically come in the form of pixels or inches. That's typically what you're doing. So if you knew you were going to create a flyer, a typical piece of paper is 8.5 by 11, right? If you wanted to turn it sideways, it'd be 11 by 8.5. So that would be the dimensions of what and if you wanted to print it, that would be the size of it. Okay. Now, if you know it, now dimensions and detail kind of go together. I use the word detail because like, how crisp does this image need to be? Because the resolution of an image is very important to how it appears to our eyes. And depending on what you're going to display it on determines what kind of the resolution needs to be. So anything that's printed out on a piece of paper or a banner or a poster or a, billboard, if you will, has to be high resolution. Okay. And the resolution is like how many pixels, how many dots go into making that image. And if it's a low resolution image and you try to print it out and enlarge it really big, it gets really grainy. You've seen things that are really fuzzy and grainy. Those are low resolution images that were not sized properly. So if it's going to be printed, it needs to be higher resolution. And if it's going to be on a screen, like video or a monitor or a website, it can be very low resolution, which is fine because the screen doesn't require high resolution. You can do lower resolution and it still looks good on a screen. But when it's printed out, it needs to be high resolution. So you got to kind of factor in, okay, there's dimension, how big does it, the physical part of it need to be, right? If it's going to be on a screen, it can be small size and small resolution for the most part. But sometimes you're working on a website and you want to know how big, what space is this going to take up on a website? Is this going to go all the way across, or is this just a little corner piece, right? That would determine the size. Somebody have a question?
Yeah, I had a question about my logo. A friend said, watch out the resolution because they're not vectorized. They're not scalable, I guess, is the way to vector. Is that in the dimension of the size? But you want to, or is that more of a download?
It's more of a resolution. So you're hitting on a very important point. So you think about a logo, right? A logo could be a little thing up in the corner of your website. It could be something printed on a t-shirt. It could be something printed on a billboard, right? And you need a logo that's going to be able to adapt to all those different practical uses. Now, logos, the most versatile probably of something, right? Most things we create don't go in all those different formats. We typically have one specific application for it, and we can design it for that. But a logo, ideally you would create a logo as a vector. A vector is something that is a file format that allows it to scale up infinitely and not lose resolution. Okay, so that gets into the download. That's the format of the file, right? So you can create a.
Is that automatic with Canva, or do I? Because I can do that in Canva.
You have to tell it what you want it to do. Yeah, right. And so all of these things play together to determine the size of the file and how big the file is. Now, if you create this really high resolution, really large image, and you try to then send it to somebody in an email, you may not even be able to attach it to an email because it's too big of a file, right? So if you're creating a poster that's really big that you're going to print out, you might not be able to email it because it's too big. On the other hand, if you have you're creating some web art for your website and it's low resolution, and it's not going to be very big. It's going to just be big enough for a screen. That's going to be able to be attached to emails really easily in that sense. So the understanding kind of these things, it's a little bit of the science of it. I'll try to make some sense of it when I go in there and show you when we set it up. We're going there. Lena, question.
I have some questions to begin with, but while we're on this,
Yes.
I'm going to ask you.
Sure.
We're talking about resolutions. Now, I am trying to do a collage with 4 or 5 pictures that I want to import. So what do I do about the resolution about that? I don't know if I understand that.
Okay, so you have 4 or 5 images, and those are the resolution they are, right? You have them in some file format already. They're already pictures, right? So they are what they are.
I'm going to import them from my photos.
Okay, and what do you want to do with your collage? What are you going to do with the collage? Are you going to email it to people? Are you going to put it on a website? Are you going to print it out?
To be very honest, I have a great grandson that everybody thinks their great grandchildren and grandchildren are the best, the most beautiful, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, he's a little boy that I see you. Anyway, I want to do something. He looks so cute, these grown-up hats and real, not baby hats, but baseball and all that. So his name is Jack, and I want to do probably 11 by something photo that I could purchase. Okay. And just do something and put some title on it, Jack of all trades or whatever you want to call him.
Okay.
And I want to send it to his parents because they don't know about this.
Okay. So you said it's good. You want it to be printed out as a photo. That's what you're saying?
Yes, because I could
Okay.
do that and purchase it, right?
You could, or you could just, I mean, you could send it to the drugstore and they'll print it out on their photo press right there
Oh,
for
I
you.
don't have to send it to Canva?
No, I mean, they offer all these printing features and they'll make more money off you doing that, but you could download it and take it to CVS or, the drugstore
Oh,
that does
okay, yeah,
a
I
1 hour
know.
photo and, they can print
Okay,
it out for you.
all
So
right.
what size image, Lena, I'm going to use your case study as an example. So you got 4 images of Jack. He's Jack of all trades. He's cute grandkid with pictures. But when you envision this picture that's printed out, what size? Typical photographs are 3x5, 4x6, 5x7, 8x11, 11x17. What size would they be?
Well, if the whole thing is 11 by whatever the right number is,
Yeah.
specific numbers, I don't know what they are. I only
Okay.
know 8x10 and 5x7, but 11
All
by
right.
something. And I
Okay,
have
so
I have
you
5
want to,
photos.
yeah. Okay, so you want an 8x10? Is that, or you want it bigger than that?
No, I went a little bigger because there's 5
Okay.
photos, they'd be too small.
All right, so
I
now we're going
think.
to 11x17 would be the next photo standard size,
Okay.
right? So, all right, so we're gonna do that when we get there. All right, we're gonna come back to you on this. Okay.
All right. Okay.
Good.
Thank you.
All right. Good. What else? Let's see. Anybody else in this? All right. So we talked about dimensions, detail. Again, I'm giving you a high level on this. We're going to look at the specifics of it in a second. The design. All right. When you think about the design, think about dealing in layered elements. So Lena's got these 4 pictures. Let's assume you had 4 physical pictures on your desk, right? And you kind of laid them out on your desk. It's okay, here they are. I kind of want this one on the top left, this one bottom right, I wanted some text. And so you have this little thing that's maybe pretend like it's you scratch out a little jack of all trades and put on a little piece of paper and trim it out, right? Think about scrapbooking in a sense where you're kind of layering these things onto your piece of paper. That's exactly what you're doing in graphic design is you're layering elements. Okay, this is in front of this is in front of that, this is behind this. There's a background, there's a text that goes across the top. Oh, I don't want this to cut this off, so I want to trim this photo or this image so that it fits in here better. I want to resize this image so that it doesn't take up so much room. But everything is still layered on top of each other. Okay, and so you're thinking about that. Things have this virtual, physical on top or behind idea. And you're just kind of stacking all these things up, and they're all independent, but they do have a level of layering that goes on top of each other as you make that. Okay. So when you think of design that way, that's it. The problem is so many times people learn how to design in like a word processor, and the word processor only has 1 layer and everything either has the space or it doesn't. And you can't have things on top of each other so well. So when you put a picture here and then you put text, that'd be next to it. If you move the text over, then the text moved the picture over and everything was just not really well. It was kind of wonky how it all worked together. This is nice because everything can kind of have its own place and you just decide which one shows on top of the other. So I think of it as layering elements, and elements can be anything from a photo, a video, text, clip art, whatever you want it to be, right? A symbol, whatever you want it to be. Okay. And then ultimately you're going to want to download this. Like, okay, I've created this great graphic image design, whatever it is. What do I do with it now? How do I get it out of here? How do I take it from this program and free it to go to where I need it to go, to put it into my website, to put it on something I need to print out, to send out as a social media post for my Facebook account, or print a picture like Lena's going to do. So now you're talking about your format, and there's some key formats that I'll get into when we get in there. So I want you to kind of understand these 4 things, and we're going to dig into them. I know it's just theory at this point, so we'll get into the practical part as I show it to you. All right. Okay. All right. Let's go back to looking at Canva itself. There we go. Canva. All right. All right. All right. Here we are. We are going to do Lena's example. Okay. So I'm going to pretend I'm going to just find 4 pictures. I don't have her pictures, obviously. So I'm going to go to create a design in the top right. So when I click on that, it says, okay, what do you want? It always suggests something. I'm going to come down to custom size. Okay. I'm going to hit custom size, a little plus here. And I know that I want this to be 11x17 for a photo. Okay. I just happen to know that's what size. That's 11x17, 11 inches by 17 inches. Now I could go portrait or landscape, meaning 17 high or 17 wide. Let's go 17 wide. So we'll say 17 wide, and then the height 11. But we can't use pixels. Okay, now this little drop down here has different formats of or different different measures of units. So pixels, it won't do that. We're not doing millimeters or centimeters, we're doing inches. Okay, what's it say? Oh man, it's not going to do that big. All right, so we've got to size this. We can do, doesn't do that big. So we have to do as big as we can go, and then we're going to have to enlarge it from there. Does it have a no more than 83? I'm not in 83 inches.
Kevin,
Yes. Yes.
if it's more practical, I'll just go by the 8 and 11 and a half, because if you're trying to figure that out, forget me trying to figure it out. So
It just has its limits. Okay, there we go. I'm doing 8 by
Kevin?
10 now. We're doing 8 by 10.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
Leslie.
it should be fine, but you have to click the inches
First.
before you put the numbers
Yeah.
in.
All right, maybe that's what I did.
So
Yeah, there we
it
go.
should be
Okay.
okay. Okay.
All right. All right. That was my fault. It was thinking pixels, and then I changed it and said, oh, you can't do that. Okay. So Lena, I'm back to 17 wide by 11, or it could be 8 by 10 by 8, whatever you want. But said, all right. So now I've got the inches, and I'm good. Create new design. Okay. Now it creates a blank canvas, if you will, over here on the right-hand side. So all of these layouts kind of look like this. So you have on the right-hand side, you have your canvas that you're working on, and it has your toolbar on the left, and it's got some elements on the left or in the second column here that you can work with. All right. Now, the first thing I would want to do is upload the photos that she has. So let's assume she has these photos. She's going to go to uploads, and it can go to your computer and upload these things. You just hit upload media and do it. All right. So everything I've uploaded is in here. Everything in the past history is in here, right? All the stuff I've done is all here, and I can reuse it again later. But I'm going to go to elements because I don't have the picture of her kids. And I want to show you how easy it is to find pictures of kids. Now I have the pro version, but you'll get to see everything kind of the same here, but you'll also get to in the paid version, it tells you what's pro and what's not. Okay. All right, so let's go to photos, right? They have all these things. They've got lines and shapes, graphics, stickers, photos, videos, audio, all kinds of content. And you can just come up and hit search. Let's say young boy. All right, so let's say we find a picture. Some of these are, we just want to filter it down to photos. I don't want the videos too. All right, this guy. See the ones with a little crown? Those are pro, so you'd have to pay for those if you didn't have a free version. But since I do, I can click it. All right, so let's say that's one picture, and now it's this picture. This element has handles. You see the handles? It's got all these little corners on it, and if I go to the corner, I can resize it. Just click and drag, it resizes it. If I click the side one and drag it, it crops it. See how it's cropping it a little bit? So I don't need the whole thing, so I'm cropping him. Okay, when I go to the corner and I drag it up and down, it keeps the proportion. You don't want it to get distorted.
Right.
Okay, so that's one. Let's see if we find another one. I know these aren't all the same kid, so we're doing the best we can. We're going to pretend. All right, I'm just cropping these down so they fit in here. Okay, here's another kid. This kid's a little older. Jack's got all kinds of looks, I guess. Okay, and then I mean, these are all free. I don't have to pay for these. These are, I mean, I've got the pro version, but if you have the, and they give you some free ones. I mean, you notice some of these don't have the little crown symbol, so like this picture would be free. This guy. All right, so we got these four right here. Okay, and I've just resized them and moved them around anywhere I want. But you see how they're layered? The first one we put on was this guy right here, so he's in the background. You say, wait, I want him to be in front. So I select him, and I can go to position up here at the top right, and I can say forward. I can bring him forward. Now he's on top of this guy.
Oh, okay. All right.
See how that works?
Yep.
Okay. And this guy, we should probably bring him on front too. Bring him forward. There he goes. And then this guy, I don't know, maybe he's down here behind. Let's put him in the back. So position backward. And you click it again. See, it went behind the first guy. Click it again. It goes behind the other guy. So it's in relation to each element. So it doesn't always send it completely. It's using the term forward and backward. Some programs will say send to back or send to front, which sends it behind everything or send it to the front of everything. Okay. All right. So we got those guys there, and I can highlight all of them, just drag and highlight around all of them, and that selects all of them. And now I can move all of them together. And let's say I wanted to make this all a little bit bigger. Let me make it. Yeah, I can, as I drag the corner, it makes all of them bigger, which is kind of good. All right, let's put that down here. And let's say we want a background, okay? We want to pick a background. So now we go over here to backgrounds. There's a whole section on backgrounds. And they've got colors and landscapes and patterns and gradients. And I was like, so what's nice is you don't have to go look for this stuff. It's all right here. You don't have to go find it somewhere else. It's all right here. Let's see. I don't know. Let's look for, let's put a, let's look for a playground. No playgrounds. Let's see what play does. Just a ball. All right, let's do woods. All right, we got some woods. And then let's say we like this wood background here. And it throws it in the background. See how that's back there?
Mm-hmm.
That's back there. Okay. And we can still move these guys around. We can, oops, I can put, I'm moving them separate again. So he's there, and let's move this guy again, make him a little bigger, right? So you just, now one thing I would like to do, because this has a white background, on the paid version, you can take out the backgrounds of images, which is a big, nice thing to do. These other ones have nice backgrounds, they're not bad. But this one here, I could edit this image. So I selected this one image of this guy with the white background, and I go up here to edit image. And it lets me do a couple different things over here. I can adjust the brightness, make it brighter, darker. You can do all those things, contrast, saturation, put filters on them, put shadows around them, all kinds of effects. Just, they get crazy with all this. If you like filters and frames, you can do that right here. All right. But here's this thing called background remover. If you have the paid version, you can get this. So I click on that, and it says, okay, let's see if I can take it out. And it's doing its magic. It's thinking, come on. Oh, I want to, it should be 10. All right, there we go. See how it took it out? That looks sharp, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All right, let's make him a little bigger because that's a good shot of there. Okay. Okay. I mean, it would do it with this guy too. I could come here, hit edit image, and do background again. And it's going to work on him. Let's see how it does on him. We're going to do text next. How to put text in here. There he is. Here he is. Looking pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Let's put him back. Let's move him backwards. Backward. Why isn't he behind him? Oh, now he is. Okay, he's behind there now. Okay, let's do some text now. All right. So over here on the left-hand side, there's a whole text category. And you can just click one of these and it'll throw it in there. See? And we can say Jack trades. All right. And it started out with black. I'm just grabbing the edge of it and dragging it to where I want it to go. And I can grab the corner again and make it larger. When it's selected, the idea of all these elements is whenever you select it, it puts the box around it with all the handles, and then you can manipulate it. So you can hit the edit object, position, flip, crop, all those things, right? But if you want to change the text, we want to go click just on the text. Now it's selected, and we want to change the font. So this is just like your word processor. You come up here and here's all the fonts that you have. Let's go with, that one's kind of cool. And that's the font size we're at. I can pick the color of the font. I need some more contrast. Let's put white on there. You can do some effects, right? They've got shadow. Let's click that shadow on there. You can pick the color of the shadow. You can pick the transparency, how much it's offset. Let's go black. All right, now it's got a black shadow. That looks a little better. You can curve it.
Oh,
Right, it's got all kinds of things you can do here. Let's make it a little bit less curved. I just moved this little dial here.
what dial? I didn't see. I didn't see the dial. I was so busy. Where's the dial that you'd
All
moved?
right, I selected the text again,
Yes.
and I'm going to go to Effects.
Uh-huh.
And you scroll to the bottom of this. I clicked on Curve, and then under Curve, there's this dial, this
Oh,
slider.
okay. I can see that. I see.
Yeah,
Okay. Got
yeah.
it.
Okay. All right. I've made this super simple to get you to see how this works.
Excuse
Yes.
me, just because we're on this section, can you say Jack of all on the second line and then trades like almost like a smiley face where it makes a circle? I don't know, just because you're on that section.
Oh, so like do Jack of all curved a little bit?
Yeah, the one's convex and one's concave. It just
Underneath it. I gotcha. Yeah, so I could do, let's see, I would do, did it keep it? All right, so that's there. And then I would just select this and duplicate this text, which Control D or Command D, oops, will do that. So now I've got another exact same thing, but now I want to change this. So I double clicked on the text to change it, just like you do anything else. And we type in trades. All right, it's still going to be, and now we want to go into effects of that. I have that one selected, trades,
Very
right?
nice. I see. Yeah.
And I'm going to come down here and I'm going to make it go the other way. Like that. Is that what you're thinking?
Excellent. Yeah.
Right. And you could put those together. You know, I selected both of them and now I can resize the whole thing if I want to.
I like that.
Right.
I like that.
You like that?
Mhm.
Kevin,
Yes.
I do have one big tip for everybody.
Yeah.
I hope you love Canva as much as I do, but if you ever do something and you don't like what you just did, Control Z will
Yes.
undo it, and you can Control Z like over and over and over again
Yes. Yes.
to get back. So that's really helpful.
Yes. Yeah. So the good thing about most programs do this, they remember every single step you took, and you can either go backwards or forward on that. So Leslie was mentioning the keyboard shortcut, which is Command Z is undo, Command Y is usually redo, but you can also use these buttons up here at the top. So you see this has this is undo, and it tells you what the shortcut is. Watch, I'm going to click through a bunch of these to point out what she's talking about, right? So it's just going to keep backing up everything we did back to, right? I mean, it's going back. Oh, yeah, that's where I want us to go back to. They go, oh, wait, I went too far. Right next to it, up here in the menu, I can go forward. I can redo.
Okay.
So you never have fear that you're going to really mess up bad. You can say, you know what, I want to go back to where I was. And now we're back to where we finished up. And so you can toggle undo, redo, back and forth. Let's see, their controls redo is shift control Z, Command Z, I guess. Not Y. Okay, Google says Y. All right, so that's how you make something. Now let's do one more thing over here. There is also, if you don't have enough images, pixels is part of this now too. Maybe I added that. Leslie, does that come with it, or did I add that as a?
I don't know. I never use their images. I always upload my own.
Yeah. So Pexels has a whole library that you can use as well, which is in here. And I forget if I added that or if that's part of it.
Could I ask this question?
Yeah, sure.
First of all, you make it look so easy. You have
Yeah,
no idea how many hours I have tried.
Yeah.
And if I wasn't so frugal, I probably would throw a glass through my computer. But
Oh my goodness. Well,
anyway,
I'm glad you are. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm trying to import pictures from my computer, and I can't do it. What do you do? I mean, there's so many things I'm not doing. Like how you change the size of the pictures.
Yeah.
They were going too small. They were going too big. But I think I got that. but
Okay.
how do I get them from my computer?
All right. Do you know where they are on your computer?
Well, what I started to do was I just did an album with just the pictures I wanted. Could I do
Okay.
that? Or should I go directly to all the pictures individually?
Yeah, do it. You need to have them all individually on your computer. So they need to be in a folder or somewhere on your computer. Where you
Yeah,
know where
that's
they
what
are.
I meant.
You got
I
that?
said
Okay.
an
All
album.
right.
Okay, a
Yeah.
folder.
Okay. All right. So that when you know it, you got to know where they are. That's the first thing. Then you're going to come over to uploads. See uploads here?
Yes, yes.
When you click on that, you're going to click on upload media. Upload media.
Okay.
And now this is going to open up your computer.
It just automatically will open up the
Yeah.
photos on my computer that I
Well,
would then just
it's
go down and choose the album I wanted or the folder.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah. That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
All right.
I know this is a little graphic that I did, and I don't know what else I could. This is something from Unsplash, so those are pretty safe. So I'm going to upload those two things and watch what it does. It starts to bring them in. So it adds it to my list of uploads, that's always going to be there that I could pull on. So if I click on this one, it throws it on here. All right. See this little guy? He doesn't look good, does he? Do you see how bad he looks? By the way, you can zoom in anywhere here. Down at the bottom, this lets you zoom in. Okay, what's wrong with that image?
It's blurred.
Yeah, what does that mean? Going
Only
back to what
pixels.
yeah,
Go back.
right.
Back.
I'm going back to what I talked about. If I go back to my slides
Right,
here.
up there.
Oh, that's not the right one. Go back. When you talk about size and dimension and all,
Mhm.
here we go. This guy here. I pushed the wrong button again. Sorry. Right here. All right. Dimension. So the size of it's really small, or the dimension is really low. It's a really low dimensions. Because remember, the canvas that we're working on here is a really big. Our canvas is really big. It's 11 by 17.
Mhm.
So this little guy here, even though I can stretch him and make him look like he's going to fill up, he doesn't look good because he's really low resolution. His detail is really low. He's not going to do well printed out. That would look really awful. So he would not be a good one. So I'm going to delete him. Okay. The other one I uploaded was this thing. This thing looks much better, right? This doesn't look like it's grainier. Yeah, that one's good resolution. That would be fine printed out. But that's the difference when sometimes you upload something, it's like it doesn't look right.
Okay.
All right, but that's what I don't even want to keep this. Let me see if I can get it off my move to trash. I don't want my little sample guys taking up space on there. Okay. All right. All right.
Yeah. I think I
So all
got
these
it.
things, all those things were uploaded and put on there that way. Yeah. So it's upload media.
All right. Now I downloaded it, but it's not showing up on my computer. I downloaded it on a Mac. It says download for Mac.
Yeah.
It's not showing up. Well,
You're saying your creation's not downloading?
No, I downloaded Canva.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, when you download it, then you have to run the program too. You have to install it. Did you do that?
It didn't say install, do I?
Well, when you double click the DMG file, it's going to say, it'll tell you how to
Okay,
install
I
it.
probably
Yeah,
didn't click. Okay,
Yeah,
so once
right.
it says download, then I just double click. I think,
Right.
oh, thank you, God. I
Yeah.
think you answered my questions. If you hear
Great.
someone screaming late at night in Florida, it's just
Yeah.
me up here.
All right. Hopefully there's screams of joy, right? That's good.
Yes,
Yeah.
let's hope for that. That's what it's going to be.
All right.
I thank you. Thank you for spending so much time on
Sure,
that. I
sure.
really appreciate
Well,
that.
thanks for giving us a practical example to talk through. So that's good. All right. This takes us to the fourth D, which is the download, right? How do you download this? Okay. Now you've created this masterpiece. You want to get it out to use it somewhere. What you're going to do is you're going to click on the share button, share at the top right. And in here, there's a couple things you can share. You can share this with people digitally through Canva, or you can, by copying the link, and just like other programs like Google and other programs, you can share with it that way. But you can also download, hit the download button here. This is what I usually do. I download. And it says, okay, now we got some choices. File type, this is the format. It's suggesting a PNG format. But if I click the down arrow, I've got the option of JPEG, PNG, PDF, PDF print, and SVG. All right. And MPV video and GIF. Like, oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed. Well, it's nice they suggest one to you. That's probably what you want, is the suggested one. You're probably safe going with that. PNGs will let you have a transparent background. So let's assume that we didn't have this wood background. It was just these photos with a clear background, and we were going to put it on some other background. Then you'd want to have it as a PNG, because the PNG will let you have a clear transparent background. JPEGs will not have transparent backgrounds, right? PNG is a great graphic format to print that way. You've got PDF also. PDFs are really good. PDFs can be for, you all used PDFs before, right? There's the PDF print will keep a higher resolution. If you have a paid version, you get that. And PDF standard is also a paid version. Okay.
If I have a question, if you want that background, well, then which one do you do, since they suggest?
Just PNG.
Oh,
yeah.
so you want that wooden background, for example. So I would just click on that.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Most of you aren't going to get into the transparent piece yet. That's a more advanced thing. Your logo probably want that to be transparent, but most of the time you're creating an image that's could be flat. Okay, so we have that checked, and we're going to hit download. Okay, now look, here's a size. It says, wait, what size do you want this? And it's back on this pixels. It does let you up and down size this thing, which is kind of nice. But this is at 1:1 ratio right here. So this is actually 2000 by 1294 pixels is the same as 11 by 17 inches.
Oh, okay.
Okay, all right. Again, these paid versions here allow you to do these different things there. Okay, and then you hit download. And it does its magic. It's going to say, where do you want to save this in a second? Here it comes. Okay, jack of all trades. Let's put it in. That's fine. I can put it in that folder. I hit save, and it puts it in there. Now, when I go and let me open up. Let's do show in Finder. I got to show that too. I want to show you what it looks like in. Okay. All right, here's Finder. And that's the file I just downloaded. So you can see there it is. And I can.
Kevin, was there an option to save it to Google Drive? Did I miss that?
There's not, but you could save it to your hard drive and then open up Google Drive and then drag it up there. Yeah, it doesn't have a. Unless I haven't seen anything on Google Drive, have you? That it goes right to it?
No, there isn't.
No. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You just drag it up there. Yeah. All right. So now here's a neat thing about this. This is another neat thing. Make that go away. We've just got one of these jack of trades, but let's say I wanted another version of it. Say, hey, maybe I want to consider another option of this. I can come up here, right up here, there's this duplicate page. See that right there? I click on that. Now I've got two of these in here. And you can title these. This is like, this is first draft, whatever you want to call it. And I can call the second one second draft. You don't have to label them, but just for your own sake. And then what you do in here is say, well, what's this look like if I change my background to something else? Oops, background. What if we go with this background, right? Yeah, what I can do another one. And then this one, I don't want him to be in there. I want this to be over here and move this over here. Right. And so now you've got three different versions of this. We'll call this third draft. Oops. Zoom back in.
Kevin, can you also click on the little image at the bottom that shows the three and just show everybody what it looks like in a grid view?
Yeah, there you go.
Which is really helpful if you're doing multi-page, because then you can move things around and you can see how things look like. I use that all the time when I don't know what my color scheme's going to be. And just like Kevin said, I duplicate my pages, and then when you print it, if you only wanted to print one page, if you titled the pages, it's easier to figure out which one you want to print.
Right. So again, if you want to print or share, again, sharing is as part of that. So I showed you how to download it. If you wanted to print it, you hit print your design. And now, right, they're trying to get you to use their output. We don't want that print. What else more? I don't know. I don't ever print it from here. Do you print it from here? Google.
No,
Here's Google
but
Drive.
I do use that
know.
all the time. See, I didn't know that. I use that all the time to have it for like Instagram business or all that stuff. But I don't use the share because I'm downloading everything and then uploading it.
Yeah. So let's say share, and let's say you just wanted to download this one here that's called third draft. So we say download, and we can take the suggested, we can take that size, but under selected pages now, that it would do all three of them. And sometimes it saves it as a zip file, which is confusing to some of you. But you can pick which one you want. So let's say I just wanted that page, and if you wanted that page too, it's still going to zip it together. But if you just wanted one of them, you just pick the one you want, and you hit done, and it saves that one page. So you don't have to download all of them. You can pick which one you want to save, and it download. I mean, it saves all of them. Which one you want to download? You just pick which one or multiple, and it does it.
So I have a question.
Yes.
So I wanted to send this as an email.
Yes.
Do I do it with MP4, or how would you, what format would you do that?
Yeah. So what is it you made? Can you describe what you just, was it just a graphic image?
I have a few things that I have to make. I'm doing a flyer, and I'm doing like a little postcard.
Okay. All right. Okay. So let's assume it's similar to this kind of thing we talked about, right? We could use this as an example, maybe one of these.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So let's say we want to send this page 3 as an email, right? So we go to share, and we want to download, and we just want page 3. We don't want all of it. So that's good. Now, the other thing is this, remember, we made this really big. This is 11 by 17, which you'd not want to send it in an email. That's not why you wouldn't make something that big just to send it to an email. You would want to, if you just want to send an image in an email, it could be much smaller. So we can size this down, right? We can do it half size. It's going to make it much smaller. And then you hit download, and it does its work. And I can save it here. And then I open it up. Let's show in Finder. You notice the difference in sizes. So, the first one we did was this guy here. He's 4.5 megabyte because it's big. I mean, we made a big image because it's a 11 by 17. It's pretty big. And this other one we did at half the size, which was even less than that. It went down to 1.2. But if we preview that one, see, it's a smaller. It didn't take up as much space on the screen, but it looks good, and it didn't take up as much space. Now, if you try to print this out as 11 by 17 photograph, it wouldn't be as clear as the full size one. But again, most of the time we're not doing in print, we're dealing in screens. Screens require a lot less size resolution. Did that help you? Was it Eve?
Yeah. Well, what I couldn't see the details. I'm sorry, I'm on my phone. What was the resolution that you gave it?
I just cut it down in half. I went down as small as I could.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you were creating it, you could create it much smaller. So, if you go back to home and you say, I want to create a new one, create a new design, you're just doing I would go to custom again, and I would put in, if it's just for an email, right? I mean, emails, let's say you're 800 wide by 600. This is still a good size image for a screen. I mean, it always looks like it's the same when it opens up because it fills up the little canvas, but you can see at the top, it's 800 pixels by 600 pixels. So I would make it about that size for an email if you're going to send it out.
I thought it was more like 75, so I'm glad I asked you.
Well, I mean, an 800 is going to kind of fit the whole width of the email, but if it's smaller, if it's just a graphic, it could be smaller. Yeah. Okay. Leslie, you mentioned Smoosh. What's Smoosh do?
If you go to smoosh.app, it's really cool because it will decrease your file size, and it has a little slider so you can look and see if it's going to affect the quality of your image to the point that you don't want to use that.
Yeah, right.
So I send things in to GetSetUp every week that are both images and PDFs, and I use Smoosh to change my file size on my images, and I use ilovepdf.com to compress my PDFs so that it's easier for them to get emailed to GetSetUp each week and
Good.
them not have a problem opening them.
Yeah, it's really big.
That's a great idea. I'll try that, Leslie, because I'm having that issue where things load too slow because it's too big.
They're
I
too
mean,
big,
on the
yeah.
receiver's end.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
and it's I mean the Smoosh app, if you try that, it's really cool because it literally splits your screen in half, and then you can just slide over and see if it has affected the quality.
Yeah. So
Wow, that's
there's
incredible.
no
Is that
surprises.
part of
You get to-
Is that part of the free or the paid?
Smoosh is a separate app.
different
Oh,
app.
It's
Yeah,
not
different
part of, okay.
No,
No.
different app. Yeah.
And,
Let me
And you don't have to download it or anything. You can just go to it on your browser.
and how do you spell that? Smooth,
It's- yeah.
SMOOSH?
Yeah, I put it into the chat, but yeah,
Okay.
Kevin's going to put it on the screen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's how I got it.
Yeah.
And
One.
As-
Mhm.
are we are we better off to pay for it because you get more options
What's that? Canva?
to pay for GetSetUp help? You know, to get the paid version because you get more options, or
You're talking. I'm confused. Are you talking about Canva or GetSetUp?
oh, did I say I'm sorry? Canva.
Canva. I would start with the free version. Use it as much as you can. If you see, hey, I would really like to be able to do that, and I'd only get access to that if I could pay for it, then that's when you pay for it. I would always use the program as far as I could for free, and if I saw features that I really needed, then that I pay for them. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Right. Yeah. Let's see. I
And
was gonna show you.
Canva does, I was going to say, they used to give you a 30-day free trial too. I think they still do.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it does video. I mean, you can do slideshows, you can do videos, build a whole website. Leslie's working on a website in here. Right. I mean, you can see how easy it is to do stuff. You're just doing layers again.
So also, if I'm no longer, if I pay the version and I'm no longer a member, do I still have access to my files?
Oh yeah. Yeah. You don't lose any of your stuff. You just lose some of the functionality if you downgrade it back to the free.
Kevin, can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
If anybody is interested, because I was going to do a Canva class or workshop with GetSetUp specifically for scrapbooking, but at the time we last discussed it, there wasn't any interest. It was specifically to make a cookbook, which is what my interest group is for. But if anyone is interested, could you let Kevin know or let GetSetUp know? And then if we have enough interest, we can always see about scheduling something.
Yeah.
Thank you. I would be interested. Thank you.
I'm going to show you one more thing. It's in the top left. It says templates. When you click on this, these are a bunch of templates that you can get in here again. And these templates are all helpful to, to create a collage. Let's say, let's add a page here. And let's say we want to put, this kind of design on it, right? They're all in here and you can replace these with your own photos. What's really nice about it, if I take one of these, let's see if I find I can put this lady in here, right? You throw it in there. You take your picture and you throw it in there. See, that's not a good resolution. I think I took that off the web. See, that doesn't look good. I wouldn't put that there. So what you do is you want to move her to a small picture. That would be what you do there. All right. So lots of templates to use, lots of ways to use it. Again, you're creating elements, layering elements. We put it on there. You select it, you can edit it, manipulate it. Lots of things it'll do. It program literally gets better every day because they keep making it better all the time. So there's lots and lots that'll do out there that you can see. All right, any other questions?
Thanks, Kevin. This has been really good.
Good. If I see,
Thank you so much, Kevin. Thank you.
yes,
You were
Thanks,
great
Kevin.
help.
right.
This is Sandy, and I have a question.
Yes, Andy, go ahead.
I just wondered, I'm wanting to learn to make SVGs, and I just wondered if I would need to save what I make to the computer and then upload it to Design Space separately, or is there a way to go straight from Canva to upload it to Design Space?
So Design Space wants an SVG. That's what you're saying.
Pardon me?
Design Space. I'm not familiar with that program. Right? Is that a
Oh,
program?
I'm sorry. I thought you would be. That's what Cricut uses.
Okay. All right. So they want SVGs put in there.
You use SVG.
Okay. All right. So let's say you're on this screen right here and you hit share. You'd have to have the paid version though. I don't think you can download.
Oh, okay.
I think you can check. So here's SVG.
Okay.
And I want just the second page. And it doesn't. All right, so it goes down in there, and now it's in there. Show and Finder. There it is. So it'll do it. You could download as an SVG. Just pick that file type to download.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if it's in the paid version or the free. You'd have to check.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.